Hey there, folks. I came on today to talk with you all about global warming because global warming's it's not looking good. It's not looking good as far as slowing down or halting fossil fuels entering the environment. It's not looking good as far as stopping the clear cutting of our forests or the acidification of our oceans. So there's quite a few fronts of global warming that we could be addressing as a society to try and change things. And a lot of societies around the world are. But the United States, as far as our leadership goes, we're really not one of them. And the whole point of this video is that the price of global warming is going to be paid by the poor. I just read this article about a woman who died a couple of years back in her house because she couldn't pay her bill. She couldn't pay her electric bill. And she lived in Arizona, so they cut off her electricity, and she died probably from heat exposure. And the people who die in global warming events, that number of people is going to be going up. There's going to be more and more people dying. There was just an article that I read from Seattle. They're horribly underprepared for global warming, so even the people who do live inside, which homeless people don't, who do potentially have a safe space that they can hunker down in and survive, they're not prepared to survive the heat. And they're going to end up dying of heat stroke inside of Seattle, upwards of 700 each event. So whenever there's a heat wave that hits Seattle, it's going to kill over 700 people. It's going to be the poor people. Okay, and this is the real reason for this video, is that it's going to be the poor people. Wealthy people, they'll jump in their car and turn on the air conditioning, or drive over to the pool and go swimming, or they'll go out to the mountains and gain some altitude to where it's nice and cool, or go out to the coast. But poor people will not be able to get out of Seattle, and they're going to cook. And that's basically what happened to this woman in Arizona, is that her family didn't know she couldn't pay her bill. The power company said, you're delinquent on your bill, so we're going to cut you off, because that's what they have a right to do, is cut people off who don't pay. So they cut off this woman. She's like an elderly woman. She doesn't, she's living on a fixed income. She doesn't have enough money to pay that all the time. And her children were paying a whole bunch of her other bills and would have paid her electric bill and saved her life. But instead, she dies. And more or less, the reason that she died is because she was poor and because of global warming. If she had the money, then she wouldn't have cooked, and granted, she lived in Arizona in the summertime, so it's not a great place to try and live without means anyway. But it's just really sad to me that wealthy people are the ones who are making the profits off of the oil extraction. They're the ones who are making the money off of coal. They're the ones who are making the money off of halting solar progress. And they're the ones who are going to survive while the poverty-stricken people die of global warming. And to me, it's just unbelievable. It's unbelievable that the resource extraction continues, that the people keep going to work and mining oil and mining coal and producing all this electricity and all this power off of carbons that are going to kill us. That part's unbelievable. But the part that's even more unbelievable and insane about the whole thing is that it's going to be the poor people who die, of which there are way more of us, and the wealthy people who survive from the profits that they're taking off of what's killing us. So anyway, just I was sitting here reading this article out of Seattle about it and thinking about what's happening in the world and feeling kind of weird about it. So I figured I better come on and talk with you guys about it and just give you a chance to hear what was on my mind, and maybe you agree with what I'm saying, maybe you don't agree, but either way, I hope you take some time to learn about global warming, learn about who will actually be dying from the man-made temperature swings that we're suffering now. So anyway, with all that said, I'm gonna let you guys go. I appreciate you taking the time to tune in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day out there. I'll talk to you soon.